Hello one and all, welcome to the A to the K Wrestling Show. I feel like every week you startle.
I'll throw one in there, yeah.
Yeah. We're here for a WrestleMania Rewind.
Yes, we are.
We're here for a WrestleMania Rewind. Yeah.
Wait, when the show started, I was like this. So I decided I need to move out of the way of the screen. Right? And then I thought, well, I'll just pretend to be startled. And then I ended up over here. So I was being subtle.
We take
in a
you
dramatic way.
Behind the lens. Yeah, we're going to do a WrestleMania Rewind because A to the Kania is running wild, brother. And do you know what I realised? Controversial hot take coming up for you. WrestleMania 31 is the greatest modern WrestleMania.
I have to throw modern in there, didn't you? Because 92 is always going to win.
That was Rumble.
Oh, yeah. What was the best Mania again?
17.
17 is always going to win.
Yeah, 17 was probably the best.
Shit,
19 was good as well. But WrestleMania 31, my goodness, right? We are going to talk about this. Firstly, with the pre-show, right? So we had
a pre-show now?
We had pre-show consisting of two matches. We had a fatal four-way tag team match. Look what's happening this year, by the way. A showcase match.
Wow.
The same kind of shit. So we had the Usos taking on the New Day, taking on Los Matadors, taking on the champions, Tyson. Oh no, who were the champions? Were the champions? I don't know. You can tell I paid a lot of attention to this. But Tyson Kidd and Cesaro won the match. So
nice.
Isn't it mad to think the Usos are now obviously... No, they're not gone.
Oh, sorry, they're still here.
The Usos are on top. We do watch wrestling, we promise. New Day, unfortunately, we know what's happened. Los Matadores.
Gone.
Okay, and Tyson Kidd.
Gone.
Cesaro.
Gone.
Okay. So yeah, what a how the turntables, as Michael Scott would say. Oh, God, I can't even speak. My God.
Words are hard.
So we had that for a pre-show. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro won. We then had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Interestingly with this one, looking back, I don't remember Big Show ever winning one. So this is interesting.
This is the one he won. So for this one,
it makes sense. He should have won one.
The final three, I believe, it came down to the Miz, Damien Mizdow, and the Big Show, and this is where the Damien has his big, breakout moment where he finally was going to stop listening to the Miz, and he throws the Miz over the top rope, and we're like, yay! And then Big Show just eliminates him, and it was like, oh.
I mean, but again, poetically, it makes sense that he's won an Andre Battle.
Yeah, and we got that. Shame I couldn't find a picture of it, but he stands next to the statue, looking like Andre the Giant, and it's like, that should be on our dream matches, really.
It's the only real time that the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial match, Royal Bull.
The armbar, as people call it, which isn't the correct letters of word.
The only time it's actually meant anything, all due respect to it. Love Andre, he's a legend. I love that they're honouring him in some way. But the match and winning that
You're
trophy
telling me
Madcap
Moss isn't
it's almost
mean
like
anything.
It's almost like got a weird reputation that you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
At least not for the next year. You're not going to go anywhere because that seems to be what happens when you win this fucking thing.
This is
I won't be negative about it. It's interesting to see that Big Show won one, and sadly I didn't remember it. But there you go.
Yeah. So that was the pre-show. Before we move on to the main card, Anthony, I just want to take a moment to talk about Levi Stadium.
I want to take a moment to talk to you about God.
Yeah, about your Lord and Saviour.
Look, just don't talk about profits. We've had enough of that.
We have indeed. But I just want to commend outdoor arenas, right? Fucking love an outdoor arena, right? Especially in, I think, where does it take place? California.
What's hurting you about this year, Carl?
Well, yeah. I mean, this year it takes place in California, but it's not going to be an outdoor arena, so it does upset me.
Yeah.
But still, right? I love an outdoor arena, and also I want to talk about the theme song as well. One of the maybe not one of the best, but a great WrestleMania theme song. It was David Guetta and Skylar Grey.
So I'm actually, this may surprise you, I'm a Skylar Grey fan.
Okay.
Very underrated.
Do you know the song well?
I don't. This particular song, this David Guetta one, I know the song, but like Skylar Grey for me, I associate with the work she did with Eminem.
Okay.
So they did a song called "I Need a Doctor," and I think she's got a fantastic voice. You'll find out when you look into. I don't know why I'm telling you. It's on Skylar Grey for a little bit,
yeah.
But she actually she did a lot of songwriting, so a lot of her songs you'll be familiar with, but she never actually sung them. So like P Diddy did that song with, was it Diddy Dirty Money? where they did that. I'm coming home.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming. She wrote that.
Yeah. Didn't she do the vocals on that though as well?
No.
I thought she did the I'm Coming Home bit.
Well, there's a version you can hear of her doing it, but when Diddy took the song, it was his band. Like, I think Dirty Money were the girls who sung with Diddy, as I understand it, and they actually did the song. But But yeah, she did a lot of songwriting for a lot of famous people. Okay. I'm trying to think of some notably ones that you know. I feel like she might have wrote. What's that one that Rihanna did with Eminem?
Monster.
She did another one, didn't she?
I'm gonna stand there and watch you burn. Oh.
That one.
Love the way you lie.
Sky wrote that as well.
Fun and educational.
So I was actually quite impressed that she did a Mania song.
Indeed, and she was there performing it as well. So fair play to her. But so I wanted to call them two out. So that was the pre-show. That's a little bit about the arena and about the theme. Kicking things off, right? I'm going to go on record with this, right? Honestly, and I don't want to discredit the pre-show too much, but from match 1 of the main card to fucking the end match, this is one of the best WrestleManias ever. Certainly the best one of the modern eras, right? You kick things off with what I think every WrestleMania should have, and it's a multi-man ladder match, right? This one is for the Intercontinental title. Bad News Barrett. Ledge was the champ at the time. He was defending against Dean Ambrose, who's now in AEW. Daniel Bryan, who's now in AEW. Dolph Ziggler,
whose brother's in AEW.
Luke Harper. Brody Lee for life. Stardust, who went to AEW and has now come back as Cody Rhodes. And R-Truth, who will always be in WWE, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, this multi-man ladder match, and it was fucking brutal, man. It was awesome. There was some...
Am I right saying this is the year after the Yes Movement, isn't it, as well? I'm wrong. This is after the Yes Movement. It might not be the year after.
I think so. So obviously he's done all this, won the main title and stuff, and then obviously he's on the opener, but he's winning the IC title.
It's nice to see him like this is where you go. The mid card can have respect. Just because he's been the world champ doesn't mean he can't kill it in the mid card.
No, absolutely. And it was like, you know, you look at the people in this match. How many of them went on to be world champions? Dolph was a world champ. Dean, Daniel Bryan.
Dean took a fucking hell of a spot in this, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, that my God. It was Harper, I think, powerbombed him out of the ring onto a ladder, but it was a gnarly landing. Yeah. But my gosh, yeah, it was a fantastic opening match to WrestleMania. I love ladder matches at Mania. I don't know what it is. Like, that's why I love Money in the Bank. We both mentioned
Money in the Bank at Mania was always better.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It just has a real big fight feel about them. But when you actually have a Money in the Bank for it, never quite lives up to it. So fantastic way to kick off the show. And Daniel Bryan is the new Intercontinental Champion. Nice. So the fans are made up with that. We then move on to another incredible match, which is, you know, memorable for multiple reasons, including the greatest RKO of all time.
People always remember that moment.
Yeah. So we had Randy Orton taking on Seth Rollins, and this was at a time when Seth Rollins was the bad guy. He'd recently aligned with Triple H. He had the...
He was allowed to do the curb stomp.
He was allowed to do the curb stomp still, yeah. What did he call them? J&J Security? Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury.
Yeah. It was J&J, wasn't it?
Yeah. So he had those guys with him as well. So, you know, the match itself was fantastic. There was loads of false finishes. There was loads of, you know, hit an RKO and Rollins kicked out, hit a curb stomp and Randy kicked out. But then just that fucking RKO spot was...
I think people often, like... I don't even think it's even debated. I think people just acknowledge this as the best RKO Randy's ever done.
Yeah, it has to be. Like, you might put up the stuff with Evan Bourne, you know, when he did the shooting star into it and stuff like that. Like, there's been great ones.
Oh, he's come up with some wild RKOs.
Yeah,
this seems to be renowned.
It just was out of nowhere, literally, wasn't it? From a curb stomp to what? I'm in the what? I'm down.
Is this what popularised that meme, the RKO from out of nowhere? Because that ended up like people ended up making videos.
Could have been, you know. But another phenomenal match, and what obviously we'll come on to when we talk about the other matches is this was executed so well because Seth competed earlier in the night, lost the match, and you were like,
that's him done.
Can't catch a break, this guy. You forget all about him, right? We then come on to the next match, which was Sting taking on Triple H.
I'm curious to know how you feel about this.
Do you know what? Not great.
Really? So, I thought you'd enjoy this.
I'm up and down for
at the end
parts.
of the day, they're not in the prime. Yeah. And I feel this was just like let's give some nostalgic pops, and I feel it achieved that.
So for me, you can say whatever you want about Triple H. People obviously love him at the minute for what he's doing with the WWE and all that good stuff, right? He's won a lot of matches he probably shouldn't have won. And I'm not saying he definitely shouldn't have won this one, but it's just like you brought Sting back just to beat him.
Right, yeah. I suppose I'll take your point on that. So if, let's say the decision was different and Sting won, how do you feel about the match, the content of the inclusion of NWO and elements like that, you know?
The match quality was good. Triple H took looked like a routine throw over the top rope, and he had a massive like bruise and gash on his ass throughout this whole match. So I don't know how he managed to do that. Maybe if you stop staring at his ass. Well, you can't help it, can you? I want to play the game. So we had that, but then obviously DX come out, and that's cool because you're like, oh, it's DX. But then the NWO coming to help Sting was a bit weird.
I mean, yeah, like if you're a WCW guy, you'll be like, well, why would they do that?
Well, Sting was Wolfpack, wasn't he?
Yeah, he never really aligned with it. They always hinted at it, and he kind of matched their aesthetic.
Well, he was going to be the third man at the start and everything, but then he was always like the anti-NWO.
Exactly, we had Wolfpack, yeah, and it would have been a great time to bring the Wolfpack back. I love that music.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, so it's one of them. Don't get me wrong. It was the entrances were interesting as well. So they took. I think that the entrances were longer than the women's match on this card, which says a lot about...
I mean, that's probably one of the downsides to this pay-per-view, yes. To be fair, and we'll probably get to that.
But yeah, Sting had people playing bloody drums, a full-on like band of people there, then he obviously came out to that, and then Triple H had the tie-in with the new Terminator film with Arnold and that as well.
Oh, it's that one.
Who was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So it's the whole... And I'm a big Terminator fan as well, so I liked it. But I don't know what it... What?
Can't I just say I'm a Terminator fan?
Terminator 2 is the best Terminator of all time.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that, but like Terminator 3 wasn't bad.
Wasn't good either. Terminator
it wasn't bad.
Nah.
Right?
Nah, disagree.
Right. But you have like 700 million. I feel like Salvation was actually a lot better than people give it credit for.
What's the one that just came out?
The one that just came out with Daenerys.
Yes.
Mother of Dragons. Breaker of Chains.
Yeah, and Arnold was in it this time, not just CGI.
I can't remember what it's called.
Because I say just came out, it was about 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
That was unfortunate. Well, it wasn't good.
Well, no, to be fair, I was going to say, I prefer all them to where they went off track with like Christian Bale. And
no, I really liked the Christian Bale one. We're going to disagree here. Christian Bale, right, they dared to do something with the Christian Bale one. They actually showed you the apocalyptic future in some great detail, right? And they dared to actually go into that, like, it's happened, fuck it, you know, here's where we are. The rest of them were all like, we need to fix the past, and I get that was kind of the gimmick of the whole first two films. I really enjoyed Salvation. I think it was underrated.
Well, you're wrong, aren't you? You can't be right all the time.
Anyway,
yeah, so
Triple H.
I liked it. I liked the time with Terminator, with Arnold and stuff like that. But it was just the suit that he had on. The face mask and the crown stuff was cool, but he had these like metal arms and they were too small for him. So it just looked cumbersome. He was like hunched up, so
like a T-Rex.
It wasn't the best execution, but I loved seeing all the Terminators on the stage and stuff, so that was all good. The match itself was cool.
And how did the Terminators look on the stage, sorry?
What did I do? I don't know. Oh yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I did like seeing the NWO. I did like seeing DX. It did add something to the match, but yeah, Triple H getting the win felt a bit, self-absorbed a little, but all in all, enjoyed.
All in all.
I just want to call out, we had the little Intercontinental title segments backstage, and obviously this is when the IC title looked beautiful still, and they
fucking ruined it.
Exactly, they brought out Pat Patterson, who was the original bloody holder of it, the first ever one. They brought out Roddy Piper, they brought out Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair and Bret Hart. They were all basically complimenting Daniel Bryan. Like, how many more legends of that IC title can you pass over?
That's a hell of a nod, isn't it?
Hell of a nod. So yeah, that was just an awesome moment to see them all together.
And for them to patiently wait for Daniel Bryan to win it just so they could do that is lovely.
Well, exactly.
Him and the other guy won it.
Well, yeah, definitely a WrestleMania moment nonetheless. We then, as I said, this wasn't the longest match of all time. But we had,
I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but at this point, didn't they have like a hashtag to this, like Justice for the Divas or something like that, because of how
there's been a few hashtags.
They kind of got shit on really in this pay-per-view. They didn't get any time at all, really.
Yeah, maybe.
It was a match and it happened. There's not a lot to write on.
I think it was less than 10 minutes, wasn't it? But it was AJ's final match, and obviously she teamed up with Paige and took on the Bella Twins, and Nikki Bella was the champ at the time, and yeah, she ended up losing. So we didn't actually get a women's title match or a Divas title match at this. this event. So
yeah, I think this is probably the most controversy this pay-per-view's had, is the fact that they didn't really do the women's side very well at all, and you can't deny that.
No,
this wasn't a bad match by any means. I think it wasn't particularly memorable, but wasn't bad.
No, it's one of them. It's a slight downside, but the match itself was still fine. Just
think before you go declaring it the best ever, the one that doesn't really have any women on it is the best ever.
Sure.
I think we need to acknowledge that this is
creating a narrative here that doesn't exist.
Carl hates Divas. I get you.
Right.
But no, because equally, this was kind of a damp squib as well.
I didn't mind it though, to be fair. And plus, you've got to give props to Rusev because him and Lana had sex in the tank. So
yeah, but
he wins WrestleMania for that alone.
Look, I don't know what lasted longer, him and Lana in a tank or this match.
Bravo. I like that. But this is at a time when it was before. Rusev's such a funny one because he was over here, and then obviously he got over even more with Rusev Day, and then he got over as Miro, and then the Redeemer and stuff in AEW. But then he's just, I don't know, has never been able to.
Yeah, there's something there, isn't it? It keeps almost being a barrier to him. I don't know what it is.
But this was a way, obviously, John synonymous with the United States Championship.
I feel like this is one of the things that this is where people justify the belief that here he goes with the golden shovel. Because he didn't really have to win this one. Did he?
No, he didn't. They kind of painted it as a bit of a USA versus Russia narrative.
We can't resist that kind of storytelling.
Exactly. So obviously, in them scenarios, an event held in America, the American's going to win. So the match itself was good. I hoped after this we would have saw Rusev move up into, I don't know, like the IC title picture or even the main event, but it just never was, unfortunately. But we did get to see Kevin Owens though come up against Cena for the US title not long after this. This is where he started his thing, was his open challenge, wasn't it?
So, which was good. That was him coming up from NXT as well, couldn't remember.
He was, and he, fucking showed up and showed out, that guy. So.
Nice. And he's just been a legend ever since.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the thing, whilst we can say this was probably quite a weak match, the women's match was probably quite a weak match, it doesn't take away from it being an epic fucking Mania. We just got to be honest about that.
The reason I love Mania, and we have this debate all the time, is Rumble better or is Mania better? I still always slightly lean towards Mania because it's so diverse. You get a bit of everything. You get your crazy.
Rumble has a Royal Rumble.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the greatest match, and it has surprises, so that's why it's so difficult. But you do get a bit of everything, all different types of matches. Sure.
No, I'll take your point. It is. They always want to make it because it's their pay per view of the year. That the effort is really there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying don't put effort into other pay per views, but you can really see like like you say, it's diverse. They want to put loads of entertainment on, loads of make it the notable pay per view. There, I totally agree with you.
Words. Yeah.
Words.
Then we had the promo segment with Triple H and Stephanie coming out and kind of gloating and whatnot. Then The Rock comes out, and then we have The Rock and Triple H exchanging words for a little bit before Stephanie gets involved and slaps The Rock. What does The Rock do? Goes out the ring. We're like, why are you walking away, Rock? Beat her ass. Give her a rock bottom. And then he goes round to the ring, brings in Ronda Rousey. Ronda basically flips over Triple H and puts Stephanie in an armbar, and Stephanie screams like a bitch. And it's a fun WrestleMania moment. Little did we know that after a debut, it would all go downhill for Miss Rousey. Because I still love her debut at Mania.
Yeah.
You have to wonder as well, because she ended up debuting, I think it was a debut, wasn't it, the following WrestleMania?
Yeah.
In a match which was Triple H and Stephanie versus Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. So was it meant to be The Rock?
I would have made sense given this here, but The Rock,
maybe scheduling just prevented it, but it seemed like that's what they were building up to. And Triple H has said him and The Rock both wanted to have one more match at WrestleMania together,
which again would have made more sense
because they never got the opportunity to have a singles match at Mania. Because when they were meant to do it in WrestleMania 2000, they got put in that fatal four-way, didn't it, with the McMahon in every corner and all that. So
fair point.
But still, good moments, and
solid moment.
The heels get the comeuppance. We then move on to Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt.
You know what? Fair play to Bray. He really bent over backwards for this match.
Hey! So this is obviously the first match after Undertaker's first loss at WrestleMania. So he's now 21-1.
I resent this finish. Undertaker, absolute legend. You know that. Favourite wrestler. And he should always win. But he just suffered a loss last year. Streak's broken. It's done, right? and then they have him win this one, which is all well and good. They put on a good match together. They work well together. I love the connection of like they both got that sort of not similar characters, but you know,
yeah.
So I kind of get why you'd want to put these two up against each other, and this could have been a good reason to have like a push for Bray. And then you go, well, okay, Undertaker's, he's not known for losing at Mania, so Brock's a one-off, and we're solidifying that Brock is the only one who's managed to beat the streak. But then the following year, they have Roman do it.
Yeah.
So they literally just went, fuck you, Bray.
Why not Bray? Yeah.
And then give it Roman anyway. So I know, obviously, watching it at the time, you didn't know that. But now I look at it and go, why did they have that little Bray win in between? It just made no sense.
They just never seem to pull the trigger on Bray, did they? And even now, they're still not seeming to, which is a shame. Obviously, you know, you don't forget the fact he lost the title to Goldberg right before WrestleMania as well. So they obviously don't see him as a main player at Mania.
It's crazy.
Enough to have the match with Taker, but it's not enough to win it. So
yeah.
But I remember as well before this match, we saw in like the news and stuff like that Bray had apparently broken his foot and the match might be off and things. So apparently he wrestled this match with some sort of injured foot anyway. So
interesting.
Considering, I thought they put on a good show.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, you could tell they'd planned to have the sit up and the, you know, fucking upside down crab spot thing as well. So
I'm sorry, it'll never be intimidating though, Bray.
Well, I think it's meant to be creepy more than anything, isn't it? But then I love the way
creepy. It's creepy from the turnbuckle, but like out there, that's something a 4-year-old does.
Well, yeah, but imagine if you're like lying on the mat and you got like unconscious and you open your eyes and you're just looking at Bray and he's like upside down. That'd be kind of trippy, right?
No, I get it from that perspective, but we're seeing it from our perspective.
Well, I'm seeing it from his perspective.
Yeah, but we're over here watching it from ringside going, what's the guy doing?
Yeah, I suppose. No, I get what you're saying. Which takes us on to the main event of the evening, which was Brock Lesnar taking on Roman Reigns. The fans were not into Roman Reigns at all. Oh, how the turntables again. And they were very much over on Brock. They wanted Brock to win this match. And Brock, to be fair, Roman gets a lot of shit. The match was really good. Brock battered him.
We're at a point, though, where I think people were oversaturated on Roman. And nobody was into him at that time.
Yeah.
As much as people are like, I've always been a fan, and now everyone loves him. But I was always there. It's like, no, you weren't.
No.
Don't lie to us. People hated him.
He's operating on a different level now, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's greatness on a different level. God mode and all that good
Goddle.
stuff. Goddle. Such a stupid fucking t-shirt. But yeah, so the fans weren't exactly keen, put it that way. They were cheering every suplex that Brock did. This was also the birth of Suplex City, bitch.
Oh, right.
That's where this came from.
Okay.
See, it's the best fucking modern Mania ever.
Shows you.
So yeah, we had this anyway, and it looked like, well, Brock was battering Roman the whole way, and then suddenly Roman turned the tables, head of the table turned the tables, and it looked like Roman was about to get the win, but Brock managed to get an F5. They're both lying down, and then burn it down hits, and you're like, and it's the moment, the greatest WrestleMania moment of all time.
I know it's not that one.
As voted by, obviously, our Instagram followers. Yeah. And Seth comes running out with the briefcase, and it is like, holy shit. Cashes in, the first time ever it's been cashed in mid-match, turns it to a triple threat, and
kicks some ass.
Brock Lesnar picks him up, about to F5 him, and you think, oh my god, no. And Roman Reigns hits the spear, and then Seth hits the curb stomp on Roman, picks up the win. Brock wasn't even pinned. New champion. And yeah, minds are blown.
Just
everywhere.
Top scumbaggery there. Love it.
It is.
And then what would Seth become? The best scumbag in the business.
But like,
love it.
Like, what a swerve and what a way to tackle that situation. Because fans weren't going to be happy if Roman won. And they were cheering Brock out of necessity, I think, more than anything, because they were tired of Brock as well at that point.
It would have been like a finish if Brock won.
It's like, was it a couple of Manias later where they had Brock versus Roman again, and this time Brock beat him at Mania, and obviously the fans booed them out the building, and that's when Brock threw the belt at Vince's head, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he was like, asshole!
Yeah, because he made him, because he was meant to lose, wasn't he? And he made him keep it.
Yeah.
And he was pissed off because obviously that kept him there as well. Exactly. Get his break.
Yeah. But obviously it was just poor booking. The fans didn't want to see the match, and obviously Vince was like, we're going to have Brock versus Roman again. It was like, But yeah, this was a fantastic way to get out of that first time.
Yeah, and to be honest, the only trouble this has ever caused, right? Iconic moments, memorable as fuck. This ruined Money in the Bank. You're never going to have a better cash in.
Yeah, it's a good point. And it did kind of go, the decline began here, didn't it?
Because there's no way it couldn't. You're never going to get a better cash in than that.
No.
So if you compare them, you go, nah, wasn't as good as that.
This is true. But do you notice that we cashed in for the main title? Just saying. So yeah, that was our WrestleMania 31, WrestleMania Rewind. So yeah, in my opinion, the greatest modern WrestleMania in the last 10 years. Loved it from start to finish, to be honest. I just think it had everything. It had stuff to tweak your nostalgia. It had, stuff to obviously make new stars. It had like performances. It had legends. The Rock made an appearance and everything. It was epic from start to finish. So let us know. Do you think it's also one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time? Or not? I don't know.
Or not.
So yeah, you may have observed us. I don't think I've even drank it. I've nearly finished. That's why I'm trying to save it to talk to you about it.
Savour it.
Top Rope, Mango-nificent is this week's
That's what it says.
Top Rope tastiness. But yeah, you can get yourself 10% off with 8 to the K10 at topropebrewing.com. Merchandise.
And for those of you curious, this one tastes of mango.
It does. It's Mango-nificent. Maybe that's why they should call it that.
Yeah, delicious though. Delicious beer.
It is. And yeah, go get yourself some merch, protestanttees.com. And yeah, if you're feeling up to it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment, let us know what you think. What's your favourite Mania, in the last 10 years? Is it WrestleMania 31? If not, why not? And what do you think of WrestleMania 31? Let us know. Until next time, we will say bye.